This is the beginning of my Go Gateway house. This is like a school of experience. This is how I came to create Kin Up, Kin Down. This is a package experience that I got from interviewing people in the DMV area and also people in the virtual world. So that is artists, creatives, locals, professionals, students. This is before and during COVID. Here are their stories, experiences, and perspectives.
Real quick before we start, where am I looking at? Am I looking at you? Am I looking at the camera?
Look wherever you want to look. It's still gonna capture your beauty and everything. You know, just talk. You know.
Okay.
Yeah,
So being a model, I learned a lot about image,
Yeah.
and what you present matters. No matter what's going on behind the scenes, there could be 110 different people behind the scene doing so many different things, and the image that comes out, that's what gets captured, and that's what you put out.
Yeah.
So what's our business is our business, of course. But whenever I get to that point where I'm in a relationship with somebody, I believe in myself. I know I am royalty. I'm a princess. I am the Persian princess. And when a king approaches me to make me his queen, I do believe that we have an understanding. If you approach me to make you your queen, you love me to the point where I am it. I am all of it there is for you. I love myself so much, and I think everyone should love themselves a lot. So if you are trying to approach me, that means you love me as much as I love me, even a little bit more, because that's why I'm letting you inside of my universe.
Okay.
So if you're able to catch that attention, if you're able to lock me down, basically, if you can make me your queen, there's nothing that me and you cannot do together. As a man, I believe you are allowed to you can do whatever you want, you know? So for example, with sex and relationships, if me and my man, I believe in a man that it does his own thing. He has his own business, his own hustle. I'm not looking for an ankle monitor. I'm looking for a partner.
Yeah.
I'm looking for someone to do his own thing, to give me my space, for me to do my own thing, because I'm an artistic person. I have to be able to express myself. I don't ever want to feel like I am getting hovered over.
Yeah.
And I give you your space. You should have friends. You should have male friends, female friends, people you've been with. You shouldn't have to cut those things off because you're in a new relationship. But that doesn't mean that if we're not together, you don't stop eating if we're not together, right? I mean, if you're across the world, like in Hong Kong doing business, are you going to stop sleeping and eating because I'm not there eating with you?
Okay.
So what is it about sex that makes it so special? Only because it's a little bit more intimate? Sex doesn't have to be as spiritual as you make it to be. You know, sex can just be sex. And if people learn that sex can just be sex, they can get all those emotions out of it. Yes, me and him are going to be on that level. Me and him are going to touch each other's souls and interchange universes with each other. And he's going to tap into me like I'm going to tap into him. But he can fuck a plastic doll for all I care, as long as we're keeping those open lines of communication. My king and I can enjoy, you know, our concubines together. He can have his room of concubines. She can come do the dishes. She can come cook. She can come fuck my man. And she can go back to where she came from. As long as we're all having these open lines of communications, there is nothing that we cannot do in this world. And that's what makes a power couple, if you ask me.
Is there a limit to the amount of women that he can fuck behind your back? I mean, it's not behind your back because you want to know, right? Okay.
Yeah, me and him have these, I mean, we're doing them together where he's telling me what he's doing. I mean, is there a limit to how much you can masturbate? Do you think that's a fair question to ask? Because it's the same thing if you ask me. Some people actually believe watching porn is cheating. Social media, tapping another girl's photo is cheating. To me, these things are so, I don't want to disrespect anybody else, but they're very idiotic. How could you consider someone, okay, I believe that I am beautiful. I know I am beautiful. I think everyone should think they are beautiful. So if I am with a man, he thinks I am beautiful. That's why he wants me. If he sees something else that is beautiful, do I want him to lie to me to make my ego bigger? Am I that much of a naive person that I believe there's nothing else beautiful in this world but me? I believe everybody is beautiful in this world. So if my man thinks that somebody else is beautiful, I want him to be able to even have that conversation with them. Wow, you look really beautiful.
Yeah.
Have a lovely day. Nobody should feel like they have limits or rules. Relationships are not school or government or a structured thing. That's how you feel trapped after a while. If you just let it be and you have it off of mutual love and respect and honesty, open lines of communication are everything to me. Yeah. There's nothing that we can't do. I mean, if I see a beautiful woman and I want to interact with her and have 1 or 2 drinks or more. I want to be able to know that I can do that without my man getting upset from that, which has happened in the past. Yeah. I was dating a guy who said he could never be okay with a woman that he's with being able to date other women while they were dating. And I was like, well, check please. I'm going to need to check.
So now, like, you know, you're in a situation where, you know, the guy is sleeping with other women. You know about it.
Yeah.
Do you only prefer to sleep with other women, or would you sleep with other men too?
It's never occurred where I wanted to sleep with another man.
Yeah.
And this taps into me and my garden of love, if you would call it. I believe that I am a raw potential love energy. So that, to me, for that to be praised and put on a pedestal, for me to be okay with me and you being in a relationship together and being at that level, I am allowing only you to tap into this fountain.
Okay.
And this water of youth right here, this fountain of love, you are the only one who's allowed to drink from it. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean we don't have our mermaids in and out of the water, if that makes sense. I don't know if I put it in the
I understand.
terminology. But I don't need sailors coming back. You know, it's never happened. I mean, I'm open to all experiences. I'm a very open-minded person. But I've never had the need to. If I am willing to be in that level with you, you already do that for me, where I don't need another man to do that for me.
Okay.
But you are not a woman though. I might need another woman for me and her to have that girls' night and do what we want to do. For me and her to just take that trip to the Bahamas and do our bad bitch thing and enjoy each other.
Okay.
Just because I want that energy, because I need that in my universe. Women are beautiful. Okay, I look in the mirror every day, and I think that is the ideology of beauty, whatever I see in the mirror. And I want everyone to think like that. I want everybody to think that what they see in the mirror is beautiful. When I look into the mirror, I see a woman. Yeah. I see a woman, I see curvaceous, I see voluptuous, I see vavavoom, and I see me. Yeah. I see the princess. I see that crown there every day. And I love what I see. So how could I walk around here and see other women and not see them as beautiful as I am?
Yeah.
Because they are. They are the same thing that I am. So if I am looking at other things that are just different versions of me, different cuts of me, we're all the same dough and recipe. We're just different formulas.
Yeah. Now, what if the guy, instead of women, wants to have sex with other men? How do you feel about that?
These are new scenarios you're bringing up to me. I've never been with a man who wanted to be with other men while we were together. If it's in the dating stage, I feel like it's up to because when you're dating someone, if you're just dating, they're single. You're dating. You're getting to know each other. So for that time, anything, like I want you to, you're not necessarily have to tell me what you're doing with other people, but I believe the communication still should be somewhat there. But while we're together, I've never been in this scenario. I don't know what I could tell you. I feel like I am an open-minded person and I would be fine with that. But I don't think I've ever came across something.
Like basically, like you wouldn't know until you were in that situation.
In the situation with that man, just to see what is it that this other man is providing that me and any other woman in the world can't.
Yeah.
But he is the king.
Yeah.
His Highness can get what His Highness wants. So.
Now let me ask you this, because not sometimes. A lot of times women say they don't want their men fucking with other women because of health reasons and stuff, right? Because I don't know if you fucking somebody else raw, you know what I'm saying? Like you out there in Dubai, you know what I'm saying? Like doing your thing. So how do you protect yourself,
Well, again,
is this trust? Okay.
That trust right there. If I am willing to let you do whatever you want, best believe I am capable of making you hurt a lot more too. A lot of pain, a lot of pleasure. So just be careful because you don't want me on your bad side. Losing me itself is just terrible for you. You can't level up above high level. High score is the highest you can go. Yeah. But so for someone to have the ability to do whatever they want to do while being in a loving relationship and having a partner there with them, trying to motivate them and have that in return and still wanting to lie and cheat, I believe I would have caught that earlier in the game to not want to go to that level with them. Yeah.
Now, does it ever stop though? Like, let's say when you guys get married, when you guys have kids,
no.
it's
Oh no, it's a lifestyle. I believe in having a community. I want us to, like I said, me and my king can go to our harem of women. It's a royal terminology. It's a harem of women. It's a room where it's just women. I visualize it as the room where there's a fountain in the middle. It's sort of like a garden, but it's open roof. The ceiling is open, and it has the walls around it, and there are beds all over, and it's just beautiful women, all shapes and sizes and colors, just enjoying themselves and having a good time, and naked or not, just being themselves. And me and my king just walk through, and all of them know who we are, and we are just walking through. All of them want to be with the royals, but my king gets to choose, or I get to choose, or we just wait and see what fish wants to swim by our pond. So,
have you like, it's just like, the imagination is I mean, it's beautiful for a lot of guys, right? There's gonna be a lot of guys that's gonna want this. There's gonna be a lot of women that's not gonna want this at all. Have you met any guy that was close to what you envision and imagine?
I met a man who was close. I believe he was not ready because to get to that point, you understand, it's not just that we're dating and instantly we get to do whatever you want to do. No, it's not like that. There are levels to pass to reach that level.
Okay.
And it's not hard to pass. It's not like I put a dragon in front of you. It's not a really hard level to pass, but I am a princess, and I am in the tower, way, way up at the top. And there are all kinds of trials and tribulations in front of you to get to the princess at the top. So for you to get there, it's a long process. A lot of people can't make it past the gate. And that's the front gate, all the way at the front. They can't even make it past the gate. It's just no, thank you. Yeah. Next. But a guy broke down all the walls, almost made it to the top, but he couldn't let go of what he had to get to the place he needed to be. Sometimes you have to be willing to let go of that life to get to the next one, so you can get to those better things. But that fear prevents you from going forward. Yeah. And I can't harm him for it, but...
Was he like possessive and you wanted him to be less possessive? Or
no, he was more of... He wasn't trying to move past the preliminary stages. He wanted to just stay, even though he was interested in me, he saw me as a perfect candidate to be with. He didn't want to stop doing what he was doing till he realized he lost what he lost. Okay. And to me, that's too late. I'm sorry. If we're in the moment right now and you are at this level and you can't beat this level, you can't come back and play again. There are no second lives in this game. Yeah. One and done.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about, cheating, because in your world, like, what you spoke about, a guy don't even need to cheat. You know what I'm saying?
Never, baby.
But, have you been in cheating situations? Let's talk about ones that happened to you and the ones that you inflicted.
Okay. Ooh.
Start with whichever one you want to start with.
So I have been cheated on. I've been only in one relationship in my life. I learned a lot from it. 4 years. Both of us were very naive, very young. This man, he taught me a lot. I believe I was not in love with him. I had a lot of love for him. And he was not in love with me, more than likely. It was a interesting relationship, for lack of a better word. And he ended up cheating on me with his ex. He was going through a very hard time with his family, and he ended up cheating on me with his ex. He knocked her up, actually. And I forgave him instantly because I believed in second chances, because I was very young and naive. And I forgave him. We got back together. I even agreed to be a part of the child's life. I was willing to raise the child with him. And because I had held on to some of that pain, and because he didn't believe that I could fully forgive him, and I was still hurting, we had friction still, and he went back to her again. It was the mother of his child. She had a miscarriage, and he went back to her again because she would call and say that the reason she had a miscarriage was because I did some voodoo to make her not have, she believed that it was my fault, basically, that she had a miscarriage, even though I met her one time, and he introduced us. After that, when he went back to her again, he knocked her up a second time. To me, it was just like the universe is keep telling me they're meant to be together. Stop messing with this. I washed my hands clean of that man, and ever since I have not been in contact with him. Being cheated on changed my entire life.
Yeah.
When this man met me, just imagine the craziest, wildest shape you could imagine. All kinds of rough edges and points and round, just a real crazy shape. 3D image, just imagine the craziest you can. Always changing and up and down and bubbly. When I met this man, he fell in love with that image. He met it, and then he smoothed it down slowly in the 4 years we were together until it turned into the smallest little sphere.
Yeah.
Almost nothing. When he left me, I was that sphere. And I didn't know where that crazy person was, where that loving, energy, high-spirited person went. Because I turned into a sphere that fit into his life.
Yeah.
So after that, I realized that I would never want to go back to being that low again. And that's when I looked back. When everything fails in life, you should always look back and see why it failed. That's trial and error. I did one relationship. I saw why it failed. I was very naive. I was very young. I was gullible and sweet and adorable and naive. I was dumb. I'm going to say I was dumb.
Yeah.
I was dumb. So if I move smarter now. I believe that I do have those balls for a reason now. I do have the trials and the steps and the dragons and all that. They're there all for good reason. And if someone can make it past it, if you make it past those levels with me and get to the Holy Land, there is nothing you can't get because you made it past all the trials. And to stay up there, because you can get kicked out of the castle anytime. This is Sparta. Kick. Out of here.
Yeah.
But
have you healed and forgiven him at this point?
It's funny you
at
asked.
This point today. As you speaking right now.
I have forgiven him.
Yeah.
I believe I will always. I've healed in a way, but the scar is always gonna have that mark. Their mark will always be there. Yeah. That the scar when a mirror breaks, even when you glue it and put it back together perfectly, you can still see the cracked lines. Yeah. So the mirror can still work and show your reflection, but you still see those cracks, even though you glued it together and it looks perfect again, like new. Yeah. So I still have those crack lines. No matter what happens, I'll always have those crack lines, but that doesn't mean that I am hurt from them anymore. They don't pain me anymore. It's just a reminder of a pain I had once upon a time. Gotcha. And I healed from it. Now on the flip side, so I believe by learning what I have learned that if I am here willing to be in this moment with you, it is your responsibility whether or not you want to be in this moment with me or not. So if you have anything else going on behind you, it is not my business to keep your relationship together. It is not my business anything you got going on. We have scenarios where two people are together. One thinks they're just fucking and the other one thinks that they're boyfriend, girlfriend, or they're about to be, like something more serious. Yeah. So people do not communicate and people do not talk about their expectations. They rather put up a post on Instagram than say how they really feel. They rather stop tweet than to actually contact the person and tell them what's going on. So when you don't talk to the person, they don't know what's going on. To them, you might meet just some girl they're fucking and they're able to do whatever else with anybody else. And when he gets snatched up, you're going to be mad. So I believe I've been in this scenario before. But again, it's because I believe that if I am here right now, you are coming here right now, whatever happens from this point is my business. So if we move forward and you are with somebody else and you tell me about that, it's going to be a conversation from there. Well, is that someone you're fucking? Is that someone you're really with? What is this here that we have right now? And if we're moving forward with this, I don't believe in being, I don't believe in, I'm not going to be your mistress. I don't believe in that. Yeah. But if we're moving forward, because I don't stand in place either. There's no jogging around here. If we're moving forward, I'm going to need you to take care of whatever else you got going on. All those loose ends need to be, get that little fire. Fix it. So you got to take care of them loose ends.
Yeah. Okay. So, but let's get into the story though. Did you cheat on somebody where you right now feel like, okay, I really fucked them over? Because you spoke very candid about what happened to you, what the guy did.
I don't think anybody's life that I've came across, I've tried to be a blessing.
Okay.
If I was in your life, I was trying to be a blessing to you. And I did my best to be as positive as I possibly can. Mm-hmm. Not just a sexual partner, just anybody in my life. Anybody I come across, I am trying my best every day to be at peace within, so I try my best to be that outside world as well. Mm-hmm. And if I was with you, I don't believe in causing drama. I don't like messiness. I'm always I believe in an image. Like I said, models believe in the way things look. So I don't like messiness. I'm very OCD at the same time. So when you go to my house, everything is like in the right, correct place. So I've been with men who've been married even. And it is what it is. I mean, if I believe if that's what they needed at the moment to push them through and be happy, then that is what it is. But to me, it's like you and me are here. I am here at the moment with you. I am enjoying this moment. If I want to move forward with you, that's on me to tell you to take care of what's going on. I never had to move past it. I've been with different married men. It was cool, but it wasn't something that I was willing to be like, yeah, I want to lock this man down. And it's not because of what they were doing. I don't believe in I believe people could meet the wrong person and get married at a young age or get involved with someone at a wrong age and not have the courage to leave. But it's never been a scenario where like, yeah, me and you need to kind of ditch the wifey and go drive into the sunset.
And it's like, and because I've been with somebody that was also like married, right?
Yeah.
And like I told you off camera, like I felt bad about it, right? I feel bad about it now. Not like crazy bad, you know what I'm saying? But I still feel like, okay, what I did was fucked up. But I think the responsibility more so it's on the person.
Don't
you know
feel
what I'm saying?
up.
Yeah.
I don't feel wrong, not one bit. I did not make a vow to anybody.
Oh, okay, you don't feel wrong at all. Okay.
I am single. Hey, ready to mingle, boys? Hit me up. No, I'm single. Yeah. I am single. If I need that at the moment, I need it. If I want to be with this in the moment, if I need this for the long, I want to do what's best for me in my life. I have responsibility for my life. Yeah. I am not responsible for her man and her. That's not my business. Yeah. I'm keeping my nose in what your man is keeping his nose in right here.
So me personally, I won't do it again. But would you do it again?
I wouldn't see why not, because it's not my relationship to take care of. If me and you are something, me and you can meet and it could be the rawest passion without us even talking. Yeah. We could have that energy. Why would I deny that of us? You could be in the wrong scenario. She could be miserable because you guys are in the wrong scenario. If you're out here looking for something else, clearly she's not happy and you're not happy. Why would you guys want to even be together? You should be thanking me for splitting this unhappy marriage apart. It's not like I went looking for it. Like, oh, you're married? Come here. Let me break you and your wife up. No, he came I didn't hold a gun up to the man's head. If he's willing to be in that scenario, then he's the one who's being there. I feel like the man is always the one to blame. It's never the other woman. She had nothing to do with it. She's just living her best life.
Yeah. All right, so you good. So, all right, so far in life, in your experiences, how would you define your purpose?
My purpose, I believe I'm going to change the world. Okay. I believe I don't like the world I'm living in. Mm-hmm. I don't like the way people think of themselves. I don't like the way people are treated. I don't like the way the society. I don't like a lot of things about this world. It's an ugly, ugly world we live in. Mm-hmm. And Mother Nature has just given up on us. The world has given up on us. I feel like this earth is sick and tired of our bullshit. Yeah. People are just unhappier and unhappier every day. I was put on this earth to make people happy. I believe I am supposed to spread love. I am very tapped into myself and my soul and my spirituality. And I believe I was put on this earth to help others find that and also to spread that love. Because every person should feel like that. If you wake up every morning thinking you're supposed to make the world a better place and be happy and love and spread, especially with women, to spread the loving yourself. Yeah. We are all beautiful. Men are beautiful. Women are beautiful. Some men don't like being called beautiful. They're beautiful. All men are beautiful. I think everybody is a beautiful human being. I have not met an unattractive person until they did something that was unattractive. I have never met someone that was by appearance unattractive to me. But they do things that make me just turn off by them. So I believe my purpose in life is to spread love and happiness.
Okay. And have you ever been addicted to anything, whether it being a substance or a way of life, that you really fought hard to get away from, or are still fighting hard to get away?
So I believe I got addicted into that relationship that I talked about.
Yep.
That was a toxic relationship, and I was addicted to that attention of having that the idea of a relationship. I wanted to have that man. I wanted to be with him. I wanted to make him happy. I wanted to be the perfect little wife and do anything he needed me to, and have his food ready when he came home, suck his dick on the way out. I was there to make his life amazing as much as I could. And that became overbearing to him, of course. But I was addicted to being perfect. And saying that, I know it sounds weird to say that was an addiction, but it was horrible because I could see how it was ruining both of our relationships together in our lives. It just crumbled down because I was overbearing at some point. I was becoming too much to one person. Yeah. And I got over that really quick. Well, it took a while. It's been a while since, but I learned how to, everyone isn't supposed to have access to all of me. And those walls, like I said earlier, the tower is there for a reason. So overcoming that addiction in my life to try to please or be perfect, that made me into someone who is able to love her more than anybody else first.
Yeah. Okay. And do you think, you have to forgive your parents in order to be a better parent yourself, a better girlfriend, a better friend to your friends?
Well, of course you should always forgive your parents. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this because being a parent didn't come with a rule book. Yeah. They were giving a kid, they didn't know what they were doing. They had no idea. I was their firstborn child. They had no idea what they were doing. They were just babies. They were way younger than me. They were both babies, and they had a baby. And they had this pretty little girl, and they loved it to the ends of the earth and back, and they thought they were doing the right thing for it. So whatever decision they made at the time was the right decision for them at the time. And yes, it might have been the wrong decision in hindsight, but who would have known that in the future what was going to happen? So they tried their best to be the best they could have been for me. And I love them. I mean, I forgive them. And I try to make our relationship better each and every day. Yeah. We don't have the best of relationships. It's not the worst. It's a work in progress, like any relationship in life.
But do y'all have these conversations, though? Or have y'all had
I believe that we are still in the healing process. Mm. I am a very free spirit, and they come from a very cultured community back in Persia. And a lot of things that I believe in is hard for them to swallow. And they are trying their best to be okay with it. And I have to be able to give them the time to understand. I can't just expect them to be okay with everything off the bat. They can't just it's not a take it or leave it situation, because they can't leave it. They will never leave it. No matter what I will do, they will be there, no matter what happens. And it has been like that. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And basically you're saying it's kind of like it's part of culture. So you kind of got to almost accept it because you can't change them? Is that or no?
Yeah, I can't change them, but I could help them understand. Yeah. You don't have to agree with me, but you can understand at least where I'm coming from in any scenario, with anybody. People are allowed to have difference of opinions and different beliefs, and I respect everybody's, but they need to understand who I am and where I come from and how I can be happy. Because if I'm not happy within me, then I'm not happy outside of me. And if you're trying to be on the outside, you're going to get that unhappy, negative me, which is, we don't want to see her.
Yeah. Because, like me personally, like my parents are from Ghana.
Yes.
And, you can say they're stuck in their ways, but they're very traditional. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, how they raised me is what they knew best, what was also given to them by their parents, how they were like raised by their parents,
what they knew best.
So I had to come to accept that, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay.
You can't fault them.
Yeah.
They were young and they were them. It's just like any decision I make now, future me cannot fault. Just like I don't judge the past me. These are all different women. The past me is a completely different girl, and I could never judge her on anything she did.
Yeah.
This me right here is a completely different girl than the me that's going to be a woman that's going to be in the future.
Yeah.
I could never judge none of these women could be judgmental of each other, because I should accept all three versions, because the one that was in the past made those decisions in the moment because she thought that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Me right now, and I always try to think about things like, make sure if you look back to this is the right decision you made in a few years. I've made many mistakes in life. I'm not perfect, and I don't ever plan on being perfect.
Yeah.
Which I learned in my relationship. But I don't ever fault anybody for what decisions they made at the time. Everybody has a story, you just haven't heard it yet.
Yeah. But, I think, coming from a different country, I feel like America, it kind of gives that room, that platform for parents and their kids to talk about the hurt, how it has affected each other psychologically and whatnot, But, coming from my culture, like, you can't say shit. You just take the shit and roll with the punches.
Yes. So
which one do you think it's?
When I got to America, second year of college, I realized that I was not. It always took me much longer to learn things. Like, I learned things, but it took me much longer to pay attention in class, or schoolwork was really hard for me, even though I was a student, because I was working harder than other students. After I did a study, they found out that I had severe ADHD and anxiety. And after I got medicated for it, my semesters to come were amazing. Much easier, much smoother. I was a 4.0 GPA beforehand, but it was less work than what I had to do. So when I talked to my parents about it, they acted as if mental disorders do not exist. They don't believe in it in our cultures. They don't think that that's a thing. They think it's an excuse you use to get out of being a regular person, or which regular person isn't the right terminology. They use it as an excuse for you to get out of responsibilities. They think, oh, you're just saying that because you don't want to do this. Or you're saying you have ADHD because you don't want to do your homework. Where it's just, I had to do everything much, like when I read books when I was younger, I had to have a paper on top and a paper on the bottom and read as I went like that, because I would read the same thing over 10 times and forget halfway through what I read, even though I was trying really hard to pay attention. Because education is really important in third world countries, especially in foreign countries. They pay a lot of attention to education. It's study till you die. So that being said, I don't want to fault them, because they don't know. They were told that these things didn't exist. Yeah. So if you're living in a culture where they're telling you mental disorders do not exist, if you have any mental disorder, you're crazy, you have to go to the hospital and be hospitalized, they don't want to think as their child as someone like that. And they don't want to come to acceptance with that. And to this day, I believe that we never have the conversation about it, because it's something that I know they're not going to change their points on. So going back and forth, arguing about the same thing, at some point you're just like,
yeah, that's real.
Might as well just, let it do what it do. I will do me, you do you. Let's just keep that distance.
Yeah. Have you experienced any, abuse that you're still getting over?
Well, there are two different things in my life that happened to me that were quite traumatic. As a little girl, I was abused by someone very close to me. And I believe, even though I keep telling myself that I've gotten over the situation, I think it's always something that comes back. No matter how hard I try to make peace with this situation, it was a very traumatic time for me. I was a young girl. I got abused as a little girl, and it hurt me in ways that I could have never imagined hurting me. And I didn't trust many men after that. And I was living that life where I was just done with anybody that reminded me of that man. There's anything and anybody. I tried to get away from my family, everything I knew. And when I met my first boyfriend, that's the first person I talked to about it. That's why me and him were so close, because, me and him were so close because I told him about it, and he made me feel safe for the first time I could ever imagine in the longest time. And that's why he was everything to me. And me becoming very attached to him and us going down after 4 years of being together, he became very abusive towards the end of our relationship. And those are 2 times in my life that I could say that I have been abused and felt powerless against everything that was going on around me. And I know that I am every day working on making that trauma better. But that pain will always be there. It's part of me. I can't say I am not who I am now without learning how to smile after a bruised knee, or how to see the person who was doing things to you that your parents told you are not okay for people to do, and not say anything because you're scared. So these are parts of, I believe, I became so good at modeling for, because I'm able to put that smile on and pretend like everything's okay, or switch it up and do what I need to do. But it's a work in progress. I am healing every day. I meditate, I do yoga, and there are resources that help. And anybody who's listening out here who is part of sexual or domestic abuse, there are resources. We'll put the information in the bio, of course. There's help out here. There's always help out here. I just was too scared, and I didn't know if anybody would really listen to me.
Yeah. You know, like, even me in my personal life, like, most of the women that I have, like, dated or, you know, gotten closer to, they will always tell you that they've been sexually assaulted, abused, you know, or some have been raped. It's just like, it's happened to so many women, you know. Do you feel like women are being heard right now, or do you still feel like it's...
Of course, women are being hurt every day. And this is why I talk about self-love, because once you get hurt like that,
heard.
Heard.
Yeah, because, you know, growing up, women would talk about it and people would just shut them down, like, she's lying, she's doing this for this, for that.
Yeah, the Me Too movement helped a lot, even though some people still have the audacity to say that, oh no, she's just coming out from so many years ago. Why didn't you say that at the time? Because at the time, no one believed us.
Yeah.
So people coming out nowadays, I mean, I haven't had this conversation with my parents. You know, I still, to this day, I am fully grown woman, living a happy life, and I still am not ready to sit there and talk to them about something that, as a little girl, I thought they were supposed to protect me against.
Yeah.
Because they were my parents. If I am a little girl, and I don't blame them, but at a majority of my life I did, I've forgiven them, of course, a long time ago. I love them to the ends of the earth and back, because they could have never known what would have happened. But it's nowadays, I believe it's still hard because people are still scared. You don't never know when a older man tries to do things to you and you're a little girl. Like, I got introduced to sex at such a young age that by the time I was in my 20s, I knew a lot about things that some girls were just like, what are you even talking about? So it's when you get exposed to these things at a young age or at any age, and it's just new to something that is trauma. You never wanted it there. It's hard for you to come out with that pain. I suppressed the memory of that for a good 10 years because I had to see that person on a regular basis. And for me to have to see him on a regular basis, I learned how to suppress that memory. I learned how to pretend like nothing ever happened. Yeah. Put a smile on. And it hit me in college. I saw a video, Runaway Love, by Mary J. Blige and Ludacris, I want to say. Is it Ludacris? Yeah. And I see this video, and I see in the video, the dad comes in. My dad never did anything to me. I'm not saying he did. But the father is abusing the little girl. Instantly, my whole world starts crashing. I cry out of control. It hit me. All of those memories came rushing back to me, and everything came back to everything that I had suppressed for so long, locked in a tiny box and put aside. And it was horrible. And I had no one to talk to at that point. Who would listen to me? This happened to me over 10 years before the time that I'm talking about. Why would anybody even care at that point? That person is long gone and dead. I mean, what would it even matter if I had talked? But I learned over time that even talking about it, it helps to psychiatrists, to somebody, to anybody, just to be heard. For someone to hear what you have to say, it always helps. Yeah. People still, even in college, I was involved in a situation where two gentlemen had their way with me, and that was I was getting a ride home, and it went the wrong way. Not to get into the details, when I reported it to the police officers, the officer told me that I was lying straight to my face. He said, "Why couldn't you get out of the car? Why couldn't you, when he told you to come inside," because I was in a car with two gentlemen, and they told me to come back to their place before they take me home because they need to grab something from their house. I said, "I will wait in the car. I will be right here." He's like, "You can't stay in my car by yourself. You have to come inside. It may take a little longer." Da 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 da. So many excuses to get me back. And a part of me I was very young. Again, this was before my relationship. I was very scared. I didn't know where I was in the city. I was so new to Richmond. And they asked me to come inside. So I was inside, and things happened. And I locked myself in the bathroom all night.
My bad.
I was crying. You're fine. And I locked myself in the bathroom. I was crying. And when the gentleman basically said, the guys said that they were like, "It's okay. We won't do anything else. Just come out." And even though it wasn't full-on sexual abuse, it was unwanted advances to me, and they got to a point where I kept saying, I was just like, I ran away from them. They didn't get the fact that I didn't want to be there, and they were doing things to me that I didn't want done to me, and I was vocalizing it, and they were not listening to me. So not only did they not listen in the moment, when I reported the incident to the police told me straight up that I'm lying, that why did you even walk in? You could have just walked the other way. Why wouldn't you jump out of the car? The car was stopped at a stop sign at some point. There were no lights along the way. This officer interrogated me versus take my statement. And if police officers are willing, well, we know how the police are. But if even people that are meant to protect you do something like that, then why would anybody else wrestle, right?
Yeah.
But I've been in counseling. I've forgiven both those men.
Let me get some water, yo. I don't know why I'm fucking coughing like that. My bad.
You're good. It's getting much deeper than expected. Drink.
You like in the church choir, like she's from. You know how they be in the church, like, amen. She's like that. She can't help herself.
I definitely have an interesting life.
You know that TikTok where it's like you gotta try to stay quiet you gotta try to stay while the song plays.
Yeah.
And it'd be like some turned up songs that you're gonna dance.
Is that what you're going through? I don't know where we left off. I think we're talking about sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Police officers, not
Yeah.
Can you believe this fucking broke up? Like,
Yeah, that's what
I'm trying to keep my calm, but this fucking officer straight up told me you're lying. I was about to slap him in his face.
Yeah.
I was so fucking mad at this. Anyway.
So, you got a cop that's telling you that you are lying. You know, when something really terrible has happened to you. How does that make you look at the cops now?
I never had much of a good relationship with cops. I used to protest back in Iran.
Okay.
I come from Iran, a country where women are seen and not heard. You're forced to wear hijab no matter what religion or background you come from. A lot of oppression was happening at the time and still happening to this day. Mm-hmm. And my parents decided for me to move back to America because I was getting into a little bit of trouble with the law. I was protesting. I was doing my own thing. I kept telling them, basically I was telling the law, fuck you. So I've always had issues with the police for as long as I remember. For as long as I know, I've been trying to fight the power. Before I even moved to America, I was in my own community, a very active person about standing up for what's right and trying to do the right thing because it's not fair. And if I see something that's not fair, God damn it, I'm going to say something about it. I'm going to do something about it. And when I moved to America, it's just that bad relationship with the law enforcement was always there. So I always just kept to myself. I never If something that could be handled by myself, I try not to get the police officers involved. And
Did they do anything about the situation? The sexual assault?
they had a open investigation that they said. I gave them the address of the place that I said that we went to. I gave them the description of the man. I give them all the information that he so-called needed after I was accused of lying. And afterwards, nothing. They never called me to say it was a dead or open case. I never wanted to catch up with it. I forgave those men, of course. I made my peace with them. I don't want to carry that guilt. Yeah. Because at the time, I believed at the time, I said it wasn't as bad as what had happened to me before.
Yeah.
So I kept telling myself, at least they didn't get further. At least they didn't get past this point. At least you got to walk out alive. Yeah. And those things kind of made me be okay with the situation and move past.
Have you forgiven the man who sexually abused you when you were young?
I don't think I have.
Yeah. You said he's dead.
He's dead.
Okay.
Yes. And when he died, I thought that it was my wishes, and I felt guilty at first. When he died, and I felt guilty because I thought I had wished death upon him so many times that I had finally made it happen. And it made me feel so guilty and so bad because he was dead. Part of me was mad that I never got to confront him. Part of me was mad that I didn't get to kill him. Part of me was mad that my dad didn't kill him. And I never admitted that to anybody. Even though I don't talk to my dad about this, it's just a part of me wanted daddy's little girl to be protected by daddy and daddy to go kill the bad man in the closet. Mm-hmm. And that never happened. And I think a part of me will always want some kind of way to know that they would have at least did that for me to protect me. Even if something happened, had they known, they would have done something to take this man's life, or he would have been the one to put a gun to his head. So
yeah. Yo, hold on, I gotta call again. What the fuck? You want water, anything?
No, I'm good. I'm okay. As long as nothing's running. Ooh. Makeup. Ah. No, I'm good. No. At least they could see the raw emotions. Shit. I'm trying very hard not to be a blubbering mess. That's because what?
Would you say you want anything? Ooh. Oh yeah.
Like that. Tap, tap, tap. Mm-hmm. I've had a supernatural ability where I can cry on demand. And I have the ability where I could hold my tear as long as I need to.
Oh, yeah?
I think one time...
You can be an actress.
I am an actress.
Okay.
I'm a queen of all trades.
Yo, I just caught a fucking cough and it's like, what the fuck? My bad, like it's happening when you really share your fucking story.
It's okay because it keeps me from getting like super intense.
You said what?
Keeps me from getting like way too intense.
Yo, maybe that's God.
Like, keeping it light and playful,
you know, like
not too deep.
Balance things out.
So,
cause I'm like, yo, out of nowhere, it's like I'm coughing like crazy. But honestly, yeah, thanks for sharing that story. And I hope you find ways to heal.
Of course, everything.
Yeah.
Meditation.
And like you said, when the person passed away, you were like kind of feeling guilty.
I was.
About it because you wish for that.
Yeah, that's something.
How do you feel today in this moment?
In this moment, I feel like I could have, even though I wished death upon somebody, I could have never been the person to do that. I could have never hurt anybody else. So, being that I am healing every day. Some days it's good, some weeks are good, some months are good, and then all of a sudden, some days are bad. And it's just part of a healing process. And I feel like this will always be, like the scars are always there. Like we spoke about earlier, those scars will always be on my body, on me, on my soul. And even though I'm healed and I'm past it, doesn't mean that every time I look in the mirror and I see that certain scar, it doesn't remind me of that situation, and it doesn't have all those emotions and all that pain. Just like the video triggered, certain things could be, it could be a simple thing, a kid walking with a older man holding hands, and that could trigger something for me that I didn't know it was a trigger before. So it's not something that it's not a rule book to this. I don't know what happens, but certain emotions trigger each other, and it could all come back again, where I need to go back through that healing process. But every time I learn how to be at peace much faster and much easier.
Damn. Okay. So, like you spoke about how with everything that happened, it made you kind of like lose trust for men. Do you feel like you've been loved? Yo, damn, like.
Let's do this again. Let's do another thing. Just cough a few times.
Yeah.
Just drink some water.
They're gonna say I'm crying behind the scenes. So maybe I should say I'm crying.
It's okay. I'm a big girl. I can handle myself.
Oh nah, you give me very positive vibes. Like, you're not speaking about this like somebody that's broken. You know what I mean?
Healed. Definitely healed.
Yeah. So I don't get that vibe from you. But okay, so you spoke about, that experience and how it made you lose trust for men. Mm-hmm. Probably, be fearful of men. Do you feel like you've been loved by a man how a woman should be loved?
No. I believe I've never been loved the way a woman should be loved. That's why I'm still a princess. I am the Persian princess. And if a king ever does decide to love me the way he's supposed to love me and he wants to love me, that is when I will you'll see that I will change into the Persian queen. Yeah. And I will be his queen, of course. But I don't believe I've ever been loved the way I'm supposed to. To me, love is waking up every morning and thinking about that person. To me, love is just being able to go an hour without hearing their voice. To me, love is wanting the best for someone even though it's not you.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've felt love for people. I've felt love for different men. I believe it was in search of finding that love that I didn't feel when I was younger. But I've never felt love in return. I've never believed that someone has loved me truly. Loved me truly.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what would you say is something that you are working on yourself right now to change?
I am working on loving me and making the world a better place. I do believe in that. That is my core mission in life. I believe no matter what it takes on a daily basis, I will make this world a better place to be in.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about 3 expectations you have for a man, regardless of your feminism or gender role belief.
The sex question you forgot.
No, I'm gonna ask that too.
Okay. All right, cut this stuff out. Right?
Yeah, like, cause I'm asking them all over.
Yeah, I thought
just because of how organic you are.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, like, tell me 3 expectations, for a man, regardless of your feminism or gender roles belief.
Tall, dark, and handsome, sugar.
Oh.
No, I'm just playing. 3 expectations of a man. He has to be goal-oriented. He has to be motivated. He has to be able to get himself up every day and be hungry to go out here and get it. He has to be a hustler mentality. He has to be a boss in whatever he's doing. You could be a dishwasher. Be the goddamn best dishwasher there is. Be the company of all dishwashing. I don't care what it is that is your thing. Yeah. If you are not motivated to be at the top of it, I cannot be around you, because you're going to make me want to settle for something that I am not. And I am motivating me every day. So if you're not motivating you every day, we can't motivate each other. And that can't happen. Yeah. Next, family is a very big deal to me. I want someone who, the way some men have kids, some don't. Some have, big families. Of course, their mother, if she's still alive. I love a man who treats his mother with the utmost respect and takes care of his kids. To me, that's one of the biggest turn-ons in the world. A man who is not just takes care as in sends a check, not just takes care as in pays and provides, physically takes care of his kids, is there, not just on the weekend, not just on custody deals, is fighting to have full custody, wants to be a full parent. I love that. That is the biggest turn on for me, that a man who is family oriented. And I believe the way he treats his mother and or his kids and his family is a way that he will treat his future queen. Because you cannot come from a broken kingdom expecting to have build a new kingdom off of a broken foundation. You're either learning from it and doing better, which that motivation comes in, because if you're not doing better, then what are you doing with your life? And then the third one would be open-minded. I'm a very different individual. I'm very unique, and I am tapped into all parts of me, and I need the person I am with to be as open-minded about life as I am, to let life come to us, let it experiences happen.
Okay. Let me start off where we left off.
Okay.
Because this is an important conversation, right? And I think we can change the world if women, because the male ego is fragile when it comes to sex, and his dick is like, that's what keeps him macho, right? So
there's problem in that statement right there.
and we can talk about it too. Let me give that premise. Like,
there we go.
I never had a girl tell me like, yo, we just had bad sex, your dick ain't good, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think every chick that I had sex with was amazing sex, Okay. So I understand a lot of women don't speak about it because they don't want to hurt your feelings, or they just rather just move on and find somebody else, right? But I think if women communicated, sex would be better, because it's like, you can tell me what exactly you want. Now, if you communicate and I can't give you that pleasure, then you can totally walk away from the whole thing. So
Okay, so being that I'm a woman who is into extremely different things, I love experiencing and I love different things, and I recently found the joy for wax play that I didn't know I had before. So I'm open to different things. So first off, if we don't have these open lines of communications, how am I going to know new things? I mean, porn can help you, but so much. But if we don't talk about things, how are we going to know what the other person wants or what the other person likes? And if you are doing something and you have no idea what I am capable of or like doing, then how are you going, there needs to be a level of communications. Sex is very intimate. It could be, at some point, but there's supposed to be some sort of understanding beforehand going in. You don't just meet someone off the street and be like, yeah, you look good, come on, there's a bathroom, So you don't just jump into the sack with the first potato you see. You gotta find the right potato. Like, you might like curly fries, you might like straight fries, you might like other kinds of fries, so you guys have to talk about everything. And maybe it's because that male ego is so fragile, and maybe men need to let go of that ego. Why is that ego so special? You could be a man even if you didn't even have a dick, that doesn't define you. Your sexual abilities do not define you. So you are who you are. You shouldn't be sexualized so much, and that is a problem. So if you believe that by a woman telling you something is going to hurt your ego, how would you know what she doesn't like or what she does like? Or how are you going to communicate what you want with her? So keeping open mind, just going in, having an open mind and having fun and enjoying it. Stop thinking, do I look cute? Does this look good? Oh, I hope he's liking it. You have a good time. And if you're not having a good time, be vocal about it and let them know. And don't do it in a disrespectful way. Just have mutual respect and open lines of communication.
Who's more responsible for the pleasure of a woman during sex? Is it her speaking about what she wants, or the guy should ask questions?
Okay, well, I've been with men who say things during sex. They'll ask me like, oh, you like that? And I'll be like, okay, yeah, but like I'll have a guy who will try something and be like, no. Pause. Cut, time out. I will stop. Like, time out. Not that. So, and I'll move around. I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired. No, I'm lazy. Come on, I just ran for 4 miles. Like, let's do something else. So it will be, I'm very vocal about what I like and what I don't like. And I'm very expressive. If you see someone's in their shell and they're not showing you any emotion, try to draw them out. Ask them. If someone is very vocal, then clearly you don't have to do anything. You just could take instructions, take notes,
Yeah.
write them down.
Yeah. Is there any fetish, that you discovered about yourself?
Well, lots of them, lots and lots of them. I am a very open-minded person, and I've love all kinds of different things. I love role play. I love being submitted. I've tried being dominant before. I'm not amazing at it, but I'm okay to practicing again. I love being submissive though. I love getting choked, a little rough play, light bondage. I'm not saying like hog ties upside down from the wall, but like some slight stuff. I've recently discovered wax play, which I am very excited about these days. Just be fun and enjoy it. I mean, I had this guy who he wanted me and him saw each other, and we were on the basis of having we were casually having sex with each other. And he took me to an actual playground at 4 a.m, and we had sex on a playground. And the exhilaration and the fun, and I mean, yes, that of course it was illegal, but that's not the point. The point is, I'm not telling you guys to do illegal stuff. I'm just saying, be fun, be spontaneous. He didn't do anything special, but be like, "Ayo, come on, let's go for a ride." And we did, and then both of us had that moment where we're just like, "I gotta have you right now," and just the passion, the emotion, the rawness of it. It was amazing. And
is there pleasure in being dominant, to a man, who wants you to punish him, all that stuff? Is there pleasure in that?
I never found pleasure in being a dominant. That's why I didn't try it again, because I don't find pleasure in it. But I do believe in doing things that brings pleasure to other people. So if I'm with you, I want to please you. That pleases me. I love please. That's why I love being submissive, because I love pleasing. And that being said, if that is something that pleases him, of course I'll do it. Shit, you want me to dress up like a dragon, or you want me to put on latex and whip you, whatever you want, I will do. But I will try it with you, and if it's making you happy if it's doing it for you, then it is what it is. I'm happy to do that. But on the other end, I want you to be able to do things that make me happy for me, as long as it's an open, even exchange type thing.
And, this question, it's not a black or white answer, but if you could try to think about it, what is the pleasure that, women find in the pain, during sex, when it comes to sex?
I think it just helps you. So for example, with choking, usually during sex, I am a little bit in my own head, just a little bit, even though I try not to be, and I preach that I'm not, but I'm a little in my head. I'm thinking oh wow, I hope it's good enough. And just doubts that people have. I'm sure men have as well, but we don't, just things that go through anybody's head. And when that control, the choking, that he takes over, and he can control my life in that moment, and he makes me forget about everything else, and he is just holding on to my life and making love to me so passionately that he is willing to take my life over it. To me, that's just so passionate. It just makes my whole head explode. It's a mental thing for me. So when I'm really close with a man and he tells me whose is it, that question drives me insane. I sometimes play with it, and I'm trying to be rebellious, because I love that part about being submissive. I like rebelling against you for you to try to even show your power more. And I love that. I love being picked up and literally thrown onto the bed, or just held up against the wall and taken ravishly, because I want to be swept off my feet and literally be done do to me whatever you want. I'm yours. Take this control. Because the whole time you think you have control, but I want you to do this shit. So really, I have control. So you think you got control, and I love that shit. Yeah.
A lot of times guys don't know that they're the ones being fucked.
Yeah, the majority of the time they're getting fucked. They just don't know it yet. Oops, I gave our secret away.
I had to learn that, because there's been situations where I had to think back, and I'm like, wait, she bagged me.
Yep.
I was thinking that I'm the one that got her, brought her to my crib, but she was the one that created that whole situation. Yep. But women do it in such a sneaky way, that got, you know, because they would still want you to feel
We're
like
not
a man.
sneaky. We're just very strategic.
Okay, yeah. And
But you know
they still want you to feel like a man. So
Exactly. Because if you don't feel like you can take me, then you're not going to want to. You know, if I intimidate you to that point, and I'm a very intimidating woman to begin with, so if a man comes and approaches me and is just like trying to like put that big boy voice on me and trying to do his little street shit and his little soldier, you know, like, and I'm like, okay, like, you really about that talk? Cause you doing a lot of talking. You better follow that up with a little act, you know, like, I'm just saying, don't be coming up short when it counts. So.
Hey, yo. All right, so with this question, right, and I hope it doesn't happen to anybody. Nobody has to deal with this, right? But you got to pick, you know, the lesser evil if you were in this situation.
Okay.
Would you rather stick with a man who has a whole affair with another woman or a man who sleeps around with multiple women?
So as to the answers to my earlier questions, that would never happen to me. But if I, for some bizarre reason, I was in that scenario where a man was dumb enough to do that, I would prefer to be with a man. Okay, with the affair, is he emotionally attached to the woman?
Yeah, he's having a whole full-blown affair behind your back with another woman.
With the one with the bunch of women, is emotion involved there?
Nah, he just fucking. He just loves to fuck other women.
Just the fucking part, because men or women, once you're emotionally captured by somebody, it's different.
Yeah.
Fucking is just fucking to me. You know, you could fuck a blow-up doll, blow that bitch up, fuck it, and put it back in the closet. Like a sex doll. Shit, I don't count that as cheating. Yeah. But still, it's the fact that you disrespected me by not telling me, you know, and both scenarios are horrible. You know, like that one, you're just fucking around here and you're making me look like an idiot, but the affair could be just one person and you're keeping it quiet and, you know, like you're doing your thing by being respectful as you can without, maybe that is the love of your life and we're doing, it's just, I can't imagine. This is why I have my rules. This is why I live the way I do. Yeah. I could never imagine being in either scenario. Yeah. So, the lesser of both evil, I choose me. Fuck him.
If you could say anything, and this is the last question, and then you said you have some questions for me too.
Of course.
Okay.
The tables shall turn.
Mm-hmm. If you could say anything to the black community right now, what would you say?
Whoever you are, watch Black is King by Beyonce. Shout out to Beyonce. She did her thing. Shout out to her team. Shout out to everyone who worked on this project. It is amazing. It is beautiful. She makes, no matter who you are, no matter where you are from, size, shape, beauty, she makes you feel so good about yourself. She tells a story through telling you that you are Black is King. You are royalty. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are enough. You are okay. You are what you need to be. When you look in the mirror, that is beauty. And even before this came out, that's what I told you, that I believe that I am supposed to spread self-love out here. And I saw her doing it in such an amazing way. And this is not only for the black community. I watched it and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, artistic points aside, artistically, she did her thing like she always does. Yep. Let's not get into how inspired I was by her, but just self-love wise, I feel amazing. I watched it and I rewatched it. That's how good I felt, because I was mind fucked the first time so hard. And just educate yourself as much as possible. Like, she is trying her best to educate the younger generation and the old, just anybody, whoever you are, just watch it. But she is trying so much to educate people. Like, for example, when her daughter Blue was ridiculed for having nappy hair and for not, like, for her facial features and her nose and stuff like that. And there's this song that Blue sings a part of it, that Brown Skin Girls. And when she sings it, she is so beautiful and she looks so gorgeous with her features that I just want every single person who had the audacity to tell a little girl she wasn't pretty to just see that. To understand that you cannot do that to people, and people should not be allowed to say that to you. So if you watch this movie, you should feel the confidence that you are beautiful, that no matter what the haters say, it wouldn't matter. Yeah.
And like, one important point that you really brought about, it's like, yes, it is for our generation as well as older folks, but it's really for the kids. Those kids are growing up, and that's the beauty that they're going to see about themselves. Yes. That's how they're going to feel within themselves, you know what I mean? And Africans, African Americans, Caribbeans, and other
Anyone
cultures.
of color,
You know what I'm saying?
any
Everyone.
culture, anybody who feels
Yeah.
like they don't think they're beautiful,
Yeah.
anybody who feels like they don't fit in. Just watch the movie and see how she goes through the story of telling you, you are beautiful, you are enough, you are amazing, and just love yourself no matter who you are.
All
That's
right.
what I want from you. This is Induces.
All right, yeah, like I said, I really appreciate you coming here. You know, you are very free. I love that about you. You know, you've been through a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? You've shared them. Seems like you're healing. You're on the positive side of it. You know, so I hope you continue healing, and you can be a voice for other people. You know, because the fact that you can speak about your trauma, and you still in good spirits, you will be a voice for a lot of people who are scared to come out, you know what I mean? And
I appreciate that.
I hope this does that for a lot of people, you know what I mean?
Okay, how?